The Kansas City Chiefs got absolutely destroyed in the Super Bowl. Do not let the score fool you. That was a butt kicking. Let's get into it. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs got smacked up. And it starts at the top. Patrick Mahomes played horrible. This is probably the worst game I've ever seen him play. 0 points in the first half, 1 first down, 23 yards in the first half is absolutely insane. You can trip up and get 2 first downs. This was brutal. Now, it wasn't completely on Patrick Mahomes, but he's the head of the snake and he's gonna get a decent amount of the blame here. Yes, the offensive line was getting shredded up. And don't get it twisted, we're going to talk about the Eagles. They were dominant. But when you the back-to-back champs, I expect you to get more than 1 first down in the first half. Oh my God. Every 5 minutes, my dad would be like, is it over yet? Do you think it's done? And honestly, I didn't think it was done for a long time. Probably longer than I should have. But man, that was ugly. The O-line was getting absolutely destroyed by Philadelphia. And all without blitzing. They didn't send extra people and they were taking them down. Then he started getting a little happy feet. That was very disappointing. And like I was saying before, do not let this box score fool you. This 257 yards, 3 touchdowns, that didn't happen until way late in the game. I think that touchdown came with like 2 minutes left in the third. And then they got garbage time touchdowns with like 3 minutes left. That was a bad game. You know it's not a great sign with Patrick Mahomes as your leading runner, though. 25 yards is the most yards for the Chiefs. Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, where you at, dog? 7 yards for Pacheco on 3 carries? Kareem Hunt, 3 carries for 9 yards? That is unacceptable. And in the receiving game, Xavier Worthy, 8 for 157. But like I said, this came at the end of the game. Yes, 22-40, but it was 6-40 before Xavier Worthy started getting deep bombs. Where was that in quarter 1 through 3? Travis Kelce was a complete and utter no-show. 4 receptions for 39 yards. It's wild. I'm personally not on the train that he needs to just retire, but I will say this. They need some help. They really showed that they missed Rashee Rice in this one. They needed more playmakers. And they also needed people to get open, quick. Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, DeAndre Hopkins, flop, nothing. All 3 of them had less than 20 yards each. Wild. I definitely wasn't expecting Patrick Mahomes to throw 2 picks. The first one was just ugly. It was just a bad across the field pass on the run. Turned out to be a pick 6. Then followed that up with another pick on the 15-yard line. Yes, he was getting hit, but it was in the front of him. He should have seen that coming and moved out of the way. 2 critical turnovers by him, and he lost the fumble. Rough. But where there's a loser, there's definitely a winner. The Philadelphia Eagles absolutely destroyed the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, earlier on in the game, they were going back in halftime at 17-0. I thought the Chiefs would do a little something, getting the ball at the end of the second quarter. But Patrick immediately threw a pick, going down 24-0. Wild. There seems to be mixed reviews on how well Jalen Hurts played. I think he played well, in the range from solid to good. I'd give him about a B. He had 1 pick, which my dad likes to mention, didn't hurt them. I disagree, but whatever. Anytime you lose an opportunity to me, it matters, but whatever. The 2 touchdowns he threw, solid, a little bit underthrown, a little bit timing off. But they were fine throws. The deep touchdown to Devonta Smith, I would have liked it here rather than here, but they got the job done. I remember getting into a back and forth with my family over who's getting an MVP, and I was like, it's Jalen Hurts. They're going to win the game. He's the quarterback. He had 3 touchdowns and almost 300 total yards. Who else are you going to give it to? The man had 220 yards passing, but 72 yards rushing. He's the leading rusher in the whole game. That includes all the running backs for the Kansas City Chiefs and Saquon Barkley. Jalen Hurts, 72 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. Yes, it's a tush push, still counts. Saquon Barkley had a ho-hum day for his standards, but I just felt like he fell down early. Like he'd be in the process of trying to make a move, but not actually making the move. 2.3 yards a carry is gross. The Kansas City Chiefs clearly had a mission, and it was to stop Saquon Barkley, and they did that. They dared Jalen Hurts to beat them, and Jalen Hurts beat them. That's what happened. Saquon Barkley was down to 2.3 yards a carry, no touchdowns. Now, in an overall standpoint, Saquon Barkley had a fine game overall. When he wasn't getting it done in the rushing game, he was solid in the passing game. He had 97 total yards. Don't hear what I'm not saying. All around, solid game from Saquon. Just didn't really get it done on the ground. A.J. Brown was having a little fit until he got into the end zone, and he was all good after that. Once you score a touchdown, sounds like you're good. I was happy to see Devonta Smith get into the end zone, leading receiver on the Eagles this week.
Sir, were you at all stunned by that Eagles masterclass?
Yeah, I was absolutely stunned. I did not see that coming. Yeah, the Eagles were the more talented team, better receivers, better running backs. But honestly, I knew off jump that the Eagles had the more talented roster. I just figured that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid would figure out a way to make it work. I figured Travis Kelce would remember how to play football. He was invisible for most of the game, which is not like Kelce in big games. I know he's getting older, but I didn't think it'd be like that. Next question, Jeffrey.
Sir, does this humbling alter your perception of Patrick Mahomes, or shall we continue the GOAT talk?
Ugh. Does it change my perception? A little bit. Only in the bigger scheme of things, of GOAT conversations, 3P, stuff like that. I still put him above the Lamar Jacksons of the world, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. But when it comes to that GOAT conversation, yeah, we're going to have to hold off on that one for a bit, my guy. The three-peat was the only thing really pushing the narrative along. Now that three-peat is ixnayed, he's got a ways to go. He's also had some really rough Super Bowls. Yeah, he only lost by 18 in this game, but I remember when it was 40-6, so domination. And he got whooped up against my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know we had Brady, but it was still a whooping. So he's still in my top 5 quarterbacks of all time right now. He's chilling in that Manning, Montana. I guess I throw Breeze in there somewhere. But for everybody saying that the whole GOAT conversation is over, nah, I'm not trying to hear all that. That's too far. It was one game, my guy. Relax. We have no idea how long he's going to play. He could play as long as Tom did. He could not play as long as Tom did. How does he look when he doesn't have Travis Kelce? What if Andy Reid retires? There's too many things to just decide he's going to be the GOAT right now or he won't be the GOAT right now. All I know is he's still the best quarterback in the league. You can book it. All right, Jeffrey, what's next?
Sir, Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance, brilliant artistry, or an affront to tradition? Where do you stand amidst the chaos?
Interesting way to ask that, Jeffrey, but I personally loved it. Now, keep in mind, I have been following this beef from the beginning. I'm talking about, I remember when the Control verse came out. So I've been tapped in on them dissing each other for the last 15 years. I've listened to every diss track probably 1,000 times. When GNX dropped, I listened to the whole thing multiple times. So on that front, even just from a music concert, I was like, this is banging. It was like if you went to a Kendrick Lamar concert and he just dropped a new album. But it was so much more than that. And I ain't gonna lie, I missed a decent amount of it on the first listen. My family members that I was watching with are not tapped in on the new album. So let's just say they didn't know all the songs. And that was disappointing. I can see that. I really can. Because what normally happens at the Super Bowl is the person just plays the hits. They play the songs that everybody knows. K-Dot took the opportunity to do something very different. He told a full story. Honestly, I didn't catch all of it because I honestly couldn't hear as well as I would have liked to. But now that I've gone back and watched what actually happened and all the artistry of it, that was an incredible performance. It was crazy. From the sly comments to the imagery of the flag to Samuel L. Jackson being Uncle Sam. It was crazy. Will he not play Not Like Us? We knew SZA was coming out, but we didn't know nothing about Serena Williams. That was crazy. So yeah, I personally enjoyed it a lot. But for people that didn't catch the imagery, which I'm assuming was a bunch of people, and for people that hadn't listened to their new album, even if you were a Kendrick Lamar fan and you just didn't listen to the new album, I can see you being lost, and I can see you being disappointed, and I can see you being upset. But if you do go back and take the time to look at what he actually was saying and what you saw, it was art. And I liked it a lot, personally. And they did play Not Like Us. Oh, he just looked so menacing. Say Drake. I was like, oh my gosh, menacing. But all in all, congratulations to the Eagles. Y'all smacked up on them. I don't know who feels worse tonight, Patrick Mahomes or Drake. I'd assume both feel pretty bad. I'm proud of the Eagles. Like I said before the game, I was rooting for the Chiefs, but I was fine if the Eagles won it. Didn't think it would be ugly. I was hoping it would at least be a good game. We didn't get that. But yeah, shout out to the Eagles. Happy that the NFC now has a dominant team to beat. It's been AFC for a while though. I guess the 49ers, when they're healthy, are pretty great. So what did you like or dislike about the Super Bowl, about the halftime? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell down below. If you have any questions, hit me up. I have a lot of content coming out, so stay tuned. I'm gonna be doing deep dive breakdowns on players. You're not gonna wanna miss it. Jeffrey's gonna be heavily involved. I'll see you soon, Bay Nation. Peace.